Welcome to the Wealthy Business Goddess Show for purpose-driven, passion-fueled spiritual entrepreneurs ready to live their purpose, passion and prosperity as they create the life and business of their dreams whilst transforming the world, doing what they love and making fabulous money. Each week we bring you inspiring and empowering topics, popular thought leaders to empower you to transform all areas of your life and business. With your host, spiritual intuitive, entrepreneur, transformational business coach and mentor, Kimberly Lovell.
Hello sweethearts, it's Kimberly Lovell here from the Wealthy Business Goddess Show, and I'm so excited to share with you a beautiful guest today, Jen Mavros. Welcome, Jen. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So Jen's mission is to love humanity forward. I love that. She does this through supporting awakening women and awakened women through deep inner personal transformation, spiritual deepening, intuitive awareness, and living from a conscious mindset so that each person can witness their own true divine radiance. She is a voice for the light and has dedicated her life to helping individuals manifest their dreams. Jen is a spiritual alchemist, an educator, energy healer, women's leadership coach, manifestation expert, and creator of the Mavros method of manifestation. A student of holistic self-mastery, she's an internationally certified and licensed life coach, having received training in NLP, and is currently obtaining her doctorate degree in metaphysical science. Jen also has a comprehensive understanding of energy work through her work as a Reiki and pranic healing practitioner and her studies in metaphysics and meditation. For the past 2 years, through her Soulful courses, retreats and one-to-one offerings, she has served and supported over 5,500 plus purpose-driven entrepreneurs, lady leaders, spiritual teachers, healers, wellness warriors, coaches, and holistic network marketers from around the world to co-create the lives and businesses they truly desire. So welcome, Jen.
Yay! Thank you. Welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we are excited to be hanging out and having a juicy conversation about soulful entrepreneurship.
My favorite. I wouldn't have it any other way.
So tell us a little bit about how you got started, Jen, because I think it's always nice to kind of get a feel for different pathways and how we always get kind of led where we're supposed to be.
Yeah. So, it began, really with my spiritual awakening, that whole process of opening and curiosity and just learning to really work on myself. And several years into that, I was working corporate, and I actually really enjoyed my job. I was a concierge actually at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I had a very, an amazing job. I loved the people that I worked with. And it was very catering to the surface level desires that I had, because I loved, exploring the restaurants and the tours and the shows and everything that Las Vegas has to offer. But there was that deeper yearning of my soul that kept coming forward, and it was like, there's more. It's like that beautiful little subtle whisper, there's more. And so that continued to get louder and louder and louder. And it got to the point where I had to take action on it. And so I had heard the term life coach, and I was like, that's curious. Like, that sounds interesting. I'm a happy person. Like, I'm sure I could help people in some regard, right? And so did some research, got certifications, and began putting together the steps that I needed to do so in order to take that leap of faith and step off the mountain and grow wings on the way down and open my business. And I wouldn't recommend that for all people, but for me, that was my journey. And I went part-time at my corporate job, and then like I said, I took that leap of faith, and I haven't looked back since. It's been such an incredible journey. And for me, entrepreneurship in my business is so much more than just a business or a way that I generate revenue. It's a way that I'm actually fulfilling my soul's purpose. It's a way that I'm serving the world. It's a way that I'm actually contributing. And so I use my business as my own medicine. In fact, it is the platform for which I'm always growing and always learning anyway, but it shows up in your business. If you've got blocks, if you've got, personal things that are going on, what's happening in your life is also showing up in your business. So it's been a beautiful journey, and my business, she has been really good to me, and we've got a really beautiful relationship that we're growing. And, it's just been a really big blessing in my life.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I agree in terms of entrepreneurship. It's kind of the biggest spiritual development journey, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Yes, it is. So if you want to grow yourself, if you want to grow yourself beyond anything you've ever imagined, become an entrepreneur. So yeah.
Confront everything.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. Yeah.
Great. So tell us a little bit about kind of what you feel the challenges are for women coming out of corporate.
Oh my goodness, where do I start?
Kind of stuck in that kind of soul sucking, like you say, you loved your job, but women are kind of really stuck with that and really want to break free.
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, one of the biggest things that I see in my own clients' life sometimes, depending on where they're coming from, is that inside of being an employee, there's a completely different mindset being an entrepreneur. I consider myself like a visionary. I consider myself somebody who really creates from a space outside of the box. So literally the universe is my playground. I found that a lot of people operate as an employee. There are a lot of rules and restrictions, and you've got to clock in and clock out, and you can't do this, and you have to wear that, and you have to look a certain way. And so, but being an entrepreneur, it's not like that. I mean, you can, anything is possible. It's truly where all possibilities in fact exist, in my opinion, in my experience. And so it's really first of all, realizing that anything's possible as an entrepreneur. I see a lot of mindset stuff where there are a lot of blocks and belief systems that are at play, limiting beliefs that are truly actually stopping us from moving forward. So as an entrepreneur, it's something that you have to do on a constant basis, is work on your mindset. So those would be the biggest things that I observe that I've personally had to really work on myself to really step into being a powerful, empowered entrepreneur. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's I'd say it's the biggest thing. I mean, and I say there's two things. I do a lot of mindset work. It's my kind of I love to get in there and clear those beliefs.
Yeah.
They're so powerful. I think people don't realize just how powerful the beliefs and the mindset part is,
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
But it's that combination as well, I think, of the mindset and then, a little bit of strategy and business models and so forth. Sure. The mindset and the alignment is massive.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about what are some of the beliefs that you feel you've broken through to be where you are now? Sure.
I mean, the biggest one, I think that a lot of people can relate to this, is around your belief sets around money. What's actually possible, because as an employee, there's a certain salaried amount or hourly wage that you're capped at, that's only possible. But as an entrepreneur, again, anything's possible. And so it's just breaking through and moving through and navigating through these levels of income and what's truly possible. So for me, money was really, at first, let me go back a little bit. At first, it was actually building my confidence in what I was actually doing inside of my business. And then there was also the clarity piece, how do I want to show up? Because I was still used to showing up in a certain way as an employee. So I really had to kind of how do I want to show up in my business? And I realized that the more me that I was, the more vulnerable that I was, the more authentic that I was to who I truly am, the more that my tribe found me. the more that I resonated with people. And so, because there was definitely a time where I was holding back a lot. I didn't want to offend people. I was still very like neutral, very, very employee-esque, right? The blending in.
The vanilla. Cool.
The vanilla, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so then I really had a belief. This is one of the first beliefs I really started working on was around money, how I believed that money was evil. Money was bad. And if you had a lot of money, that you were somehow a really bad, horrible person. And so I clearly had to work through that. Otherwise, you stop yourself from really what's possible. And so, and then of course there are, your beliefs are accumulated as you move through life. More beliefs present themselves as you have a refreshed perspective on life, as you deepen in life. And so it's a constant space of moving through those belief sets. It's a constant growth. It's a constant process. It doesn't ever end. So, whereas, So whereas, I believed that money was evil, then the next belief that I realized that I had about money was actually that if I had a lot of money and I was rich, I was going to die. So then I had to work myself through that. So there's just been a lot of little bumps, but very doable bumps in the road. That you really, it's your choice. It's all about choice. You can either choose to honor yourself and love yourself enough to give yourself the gift of moving through those things, or you don't, and it's okay either way. It's whatever you choose. I know, but for me, I've got a powerful flame underneath my being, because, like I said, my business is not really a business to generate frivolous things or whatever. Like it's truly a passion and a purpose. So it's a strong calling that I have.
Yeah, I think those businesses are the best. They're the most fun.
Yeah. Yes.
Every day we're just showing up, doing what we love to do, what we feel called to do, and what we just would do for free.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So yeah, love it. So yeah, for me too, I think the money stuff was completely why I put together the Wealthy Business Goddess show, because I feel there's such a split in the collective consciousness between money and spirituality. So, and I work through my own money beliefs, but I love to support people through that. So when you've broken through some of the money blocks, what other kind of blocks have you kind of had to confront?
Sure. So, I mean, just what I mentioned earlier about vulnerability. There's, and this is something that I'm still reminding myself of. As I show up more powerfully and bigger in the world in order to make a bigger impact and ripple, it's a new level that I'm navigating through. So with this piece, if I show up more me, am I going to be liked?
Yeah.
Are people still going to love me? So, and that's that's the whole purpose of humanity, essentially, is to be a part of community and to love each other and feel accepted. And so that's really a core human necessity, if you ask me. And if you have a fear of that, if you fear that that's jeopardized, it holds you back from truly what's possible. It will stop you in your path, and you will doubt things. And so I have this what I call my future self. I'm sure you have something along those lines, where I've identified who I am is as my future self, how I show up in the world, what my body is the energy in my body, in my emotions and everything. I've gotten clear on that, and so I make decisions from my future self, and it's really uncomfortable at times, because as I'm still growing into her, there are decisions where I'm like, oh man, like, what would my future self do? What would the Jen now do? And so it's a constant taking action from a soulful space of what would my future self do? And then I notice I actually exponentially move into that person much quicker than I ever imagined. When I first started doing this exercise, I actually got this profound meditation that because I'm an avid meditator, and this was a really beefy meditation, a big download that I got from the universe. And it actually, I was shown pieces of my journey, and I thought it was going to be like 20 years down the road, like the end of my career as an entrepreneur, when in fact it was literally like a year and a half later. And I was like, whoa, holy cow. So I know that when I'm making decisions from my future self, I'm quantum leaping through time to become that person.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing. So yeah.
And I love that, because often, you know, I find women, they're kind of waiting until they're ready. And I know I've done that, you know, on my pathway, kind of felt like I'm not ready. I don't know enough, or, you know, whatever that is, or waiting until we've cleared the beliefs and the blocks, right? Because I do a lot of mindset work. But I was really shocked the other week. I was working with a client, and I'd said something to her like, you know, you just kind of take action. So, but don't I need to clear that? I'm like, well, yeah, you can clear that, and, you know, it's just a belief.
At the same time,
We'll clear it, but don't wait until you've cleared it and sorted it all. You to take action as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so funny, isn't it? How we kind of always wanting to be perfect in some way, and have everything together. And then often when we're out of our comfort zone is where we're making the biggest growth.
Definitely.
But that's really, like, we feel really vulnerable.
Absolutely. I mean, I myself have been stuck in that perfection paralysis where it froze me, and I was not taking action at all. And that doesn't serve anybody. Yeah. It doesn't serve me, my business, and the people that I serve at all. And so I had a rude awakening with that, in fact. And now I've practiced and strengthened that muscle about just taking action and continuing to move forward, and knowing that just like you'll grow wings on the way down, it's you can simultaneously do what you need to do and show up more powerfully as well. So it's a muscle that you strengthen over time, and that's very common, very, very common for people to get stuck in that perfection paralysis.
Yeah,
so,
and I love that analogy of the muscle. I think it's really important to remember that, because the more that we use it, the stronger, the more powerful it becomes. And if we don't use it, then we lose it.
Yeah.
So we all have that feeling, I think, at some point of perhaps not feeling as confident as we'd want to feel, or, you know, feeling like a bit of an imposter, you know, having doubts and feeling scared.
Sure.
But when we've got that vision, and we've got that calling within us, it's like we can't really say no to it.
Yeah. I mean, you can, but I know for me, and I know for, I'm sure your listeners, it's deeper than that, and so it's harder to say no to it.
Well, we wouldn't really want to, would we?
No.
We're like, oh, but, you know, we don't really want to say no to it. It's like we can't say no to it. But I mean, we do have choice. But I think kicking or screaming, our soul is calling us forward.
Yeah,
you know?
Most definitely.
That's
most
what
definitely.
We need to do.
Yeah.
So, I love it. It's really nice to hear other people's stories and you know, see the threads and how they come together. And I think there's so much, you know, wisdom in sharing experiences, because a lot of people perhaps listening, you know, look and see other people who've created success or a certain level of success and kind of feel like, well, it was okay for them. But, you know,
and you know, a lot of times, and I catch myself sometimes as well doing this, you look at somebody's end result, you're looking at somebody's like product or final, the way that they're what they're presenting into the world, and it took years. We don't really know what it's taken for that, or what sacrifices that person has had to make to get to that space. And so we have this comparison disease. We're comparing ourselves. And so I like to keep my eyes on my own paper as much as possible, and really feel my way through that. I'm a feeler, and so I find if I'm starting to look around at what other people are doing, okay, Jen, let's go back inside myself. Let's keep my eyes on my paper and really feel what's best for you. That's really, really important, you know, because I've had a lot of mentors, a lot of coaches who I've worked with, and a lot of times they've taught me the way that they've got to success, their model of success. And then sometimes it becomes like a one size fits all way to get there. And all of us are so unique and so individualized and so perfectly just divinely individual that it's so important to use your intuition, to use that inner compass and that GPS that you have inside of you. Allow the universe to guide you, because that's your true star, your true north star. When you're following what other people are doing or following a model, in my own experience, I've had to do a lot of course correcting and a lot of unlearning of things. But if I just had listened to myself the first time, which I felt it was like a little red flag was going off inside of me, but I'm like, but no, this person is telling me to do this. It's so important to listen to what you feel. How does that feel when you try that on and go from that space?
I think there's I've had that experience also in terms of business models, and sharing business models with clients. For me, it's about, there's a menu, right? There's different business models, and different business models suit different people at different times of their business. So it's about what feels, I was going to say comfortable, but not necessarily comfortable, but what feels like, it's a fit for you, and maybe, kind of like being with that and seeing, if that works for you. Because there's sometimes I know I've tried different business models that I haven't particularly been, or practices that I haven't particularly been comfortable with. Yeah. But that's just been a part of my growth.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I've gone, okay, I'm good with that now. But then there's been other times when I've, done certain things with my business, and then I'm like, okay, well, that's okay, but I also want this. So it's like, I've got to have it both. I can't just do that,
Yeah.
So, it's about what feels right for us as individuals.
Definitely. Yes.
And I think that's happening more now in the coaching
industry. Absolutely agree. Yes, I absolutely agree. Because there's a lot of new coaches out there, and that's amazing. Like I feel so happy for them, and because it's a beautiful space, being an entrepreneur, being able to support people through transformation, and whether that is business or that's personal or it's mindset. I mean, whatever that is. And there are a lot of what I'm calling kind of just one size fits alls that people are putting other people in, and I've been put in those before. I've tried them on. I've taken what worked and what didn't, and grown from there, expanded on that. So it's very common. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I also feel that another thing that I think is part of that beginning, well, not even the beginning journey, because we're always evolving and growing. But I see a lot of new people starting off trying to find who their ideal clients are, trying to find their niche, and really struggling with that whole thing, I mean, how was that for you in terms of figuring out who you want?
Oh my gosh. Well, what I've found through my experience is that your community, your tribe, the people that you serve are ultimately just 2 to 10 steps just behind where you are. And it's not like you're like, I'm elite, I'm better than them. No, I mean, just like you've gone through something and you're a little bit more advanced than they are in that, and you're teaching them. I know for me, my business has changed dramatically and drastically, and it's always changing. Why? Because I'm always changing. I'm always growing. And so the people that I serve, like I said, are beautiful people and amazing, gorgeous souls who desire, this space of abundance. They want to live in an abundant life. That's not just financially, that's, with health and peace and happiness and love. And they also desire, really show up more powerfully in the world. And so, that's who I am. And so, like I said, I found that my people are really just a couple steps right behind me, and I turn around and I'm helping them through that. It was really challenging when I first started my business to really identify who my ideal client was, because I didn't know how to find clarity around that. But I'm like, I don't know. And so that was probably one of the biggest challenges that I had, because I didn't want to mess it up. I didn't want to, identify a certain characteristic or a piece of that person and have it be wrong. But of course, what I've realized is that as an entrepreneur, you can tweak and test and tweak and test and tweak and test, and you're always changing things based on what works and what doesn't. And I believe that failure is also a part of the recipe for success. And I'll tell you what, I have failed so many times in certain things. I have fallen flat on my face in the mud, crying and messy tears. And it's been messy, but you know what? There's that resiliency that I know that it's okay. And so I just stand back up, I dust off, and I'm like, crap, okay, where do I go from here? And you just keep going. You just keep moving forward. And so identifying my ideal client was very challenging. And I do find that as I grow and I move through life, I have a different understanding and perspective of life itself and of the universe, that my clients shift and change as well. And they grow with me too. So yeah, that can definitely be a challenging piece, but very, very well worth it when you're able to really know who you are serving, because then you'll literally be able to speak their language like no one else. Yeah.
I talk about soulmate clients. So it's like when we just end up working with people who are just like us, like people talk about kind of the whole client attraction, and I hear a lot from people about, wanting to make sure they've got this in place and that in place. But when we're more who we are, as you were saying, people are drawn to us. And there's so many clients, so many different people working and sharing and working in different ways with different personalities. There's plenty for everyone. So the more we're able to be who we truly are, the more we're actually going to stand out to those people that we are here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not to be scared of showing up.
And that takes courage. And that takes courage too, to be seen. That's a space of vulnerability. And again, it's a muscle that I've had to strengthen, and I still continue to strengthen. But it is so well worth it. So well worth it.
Yeah. So, Jen, tell us a bit more about your manifesting, because I do some manifesting, but you've got a technique.
Yeah. I do.
Tell us about your technique.
So I'm kind of, I think more so known in the industry actually for manifestation. So just through my own experience, when I was really starting to open up spiritually, I had that curiosity. I was kind of doing certain things that I was like, wow, that actually really worked really well. What did I just do? And so I've put together a 10-step method to really manifesting. But ultimately, and this is kind of to expand a little bit on manifestation, I don't just think that manifestation is like a Christmas list that you're sending off to the universe, this list of wants that you want. I believe in the way that I define manifestation, it's actually a way of being, because you're manifesting anyway. It's a natural state that we're all doing. So it'd be pretty cool if we could learn how to do it, and do it based on our soul's growth, do it based on the things that we actually really do desire versus what we don't want to call into our lives. And so for me, manifestation is actually a spiritual path. It is a way to live in the world. And like I said, to show up more you. And so there's clarity pieces. I mean, identifying one of the very beginning things that I talk about is your spiritual vision. So who do you want to be in the world? Who are you showing up as? And identifying that and building on that. So you're actually soulfully aligning your desires with you and who you are, versus what I call surface level wants, which are these things that people think that they want, or they're keeping up with the Joneses, or they're socially conditioned to think that they actually want that. And a lot of times those surface level wants are going to be, you'll push your way through what I call forced willpower. So if you're trying to manifest a surface level want, you're going to be acting from a space of forced willpower, and forced willpower never works out. I mean, you'll always spin out of that. And then you're like, why didn't that work? Because you weren't, first of all, you weren't soulfully aligned. Did you actually really want to call that into your life? So, so clarity is a huge piece of my method, and they're very simple techniques. I mean, it's gratitude is a huge piece as well. Daily practice of gratitude, because that flips the switch from, oh, I don't have enough, I don't have that, to holy moly, look at how much I have. Look at how grateful and blessed a human being I am. And then also I talk about the woo-woo, the energy pieces, about raising your vibration and what that means. And, I talk about action, because a lot of people think that manifestation is sitting on a cloud, like with your legs crossed, and you're like visualizing, which is a part of it. But you also have to you're taking baby steps or big steps towards that which towards that which you desire. You're actually showing up as a human being and putting a little skin in the game. And so I've actually got 4 different styles of action. And so we talk about, there's a lot of things that are encompassed in that. But I also have a brand new body of work that's coming out that's next level manifestation. They are things that I've downloaded from the universe for more of the awakened woman, somebody who's already on their path. They're already familiar with manifestation. And these are things that, like the flow state. There's a really powerful space when you can tune into the flow state. Also surrendering into the arms of the universe. So it's a going from, so that my 10-step manifestation method is for the awakening woman, somebody who is coming into that. And it teaches you how to be empowered, how to really focus on you by going inward. This next level manifestation piece is all about shifting from the me to the we. And so it's really serving on a much larger level for the collective, for community. So it's a shift in consciousness and in awareness. So manifestation is my jam, and it is something we're already doing, like I said. And for me, it is my spiritual walk in life, how you show up. So, yeah.
I love that. And I think that, now, as you were talking about the flow state and talking about surrendering, talking about that earlier with someone, it's kind of that more feminine energy. And I think
absolutely.
some of the goal setting has been quite masculine.
Yes.
And from the
yes.
head rather
absolutely.
than from the heart and the
yes.
soul. So, yeah.
Absolutely. You're dropping from your head into your heart. And another piece to that is also synchronicities. I believe that, it's kind of a cliche saying now. I think I hear this someone say it at least like 5 times a day now, how everything is truly connected. But it really, really is. Everything truly is so connected that it would make sense. It makes perfect sense when you can sink into this, that when you see synchronicities, when you see these things that appear to be coincidences, that is the universe showing up to guide you and really lead you based on what you've proclaimed that you desire in your life, and to serve. So it's pretty interesting. It's powerful stuff, and it's so beautiful. So manifestation to me is spirituality. And I love what you said, and I talk about this a lot as well. It is that feminine energy. It's truly like what I call more feminine focus. It's not that masculine go, push, linear. I'm in my mind about things. It's navigating through life based on your intuition, and you're in that space of flow of the rhythms and cycles of your life, and you're honoring those. So it's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Well, I love that's happening right now is more of us women gathering together and collaborating and supporting one another, which feels really beautiful, and to be able to have fun and to be able to play, because I think we can all relate to a certain extent to like the whole left brain thing, and there's lots of different pieces that need to happen in our business, right, which maybe as more heart-centered entrepreneurs that are not our genius zone,
Yeah.
shall we say. But, being able to come together and to support one another and to be in that space
Absolutely.
of flow and play, rather than having to work hard and figure it all out and come from the head and it's just feels much lighter. And it feels like there's
Absolutely.
more of that, like you were saying about the synchronicity, more of that happening where you have an idea and then, get introduced to somebody and, you kind of make the connections.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, it's really powerful and just kind of back to the feminine energy. I mean, it does feel lighter. It does feel less forced. It just feels like your natural state. It just feels like you're just honoring where you are in that moment, that present now moment. And because I know for me, I mean, I operated my business for a year and a half in masculine energy, and it was a recipe for a hot mess. I crashed. I was constantly in a space of overwhelm. I was constantly tired. I mean, I needed to take time off and away. I couldn't hold the space that I needed to hold for my business, operating only in the masculine energy. And as you know, I mean, we hold both of them. We're not one or the other. We actually, for our wholeness, we hold both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and it's honoring both of them. And I know for me, there are spaces where I toggle between both of them. It's almost like in shows up in my business where, the feminine energy is that creativity, the creation, the artistic piece, because I consider my business art as well. And really, like, what am I feeling into? What needs to be birthed into the world? What is the universe wanting to express through me? And what is emerging? And creating that, listening to your intuition. And that masculine energy is the go get it done mode, where it's like you're the move forward mode, to really actually move into a space of, let's get this done, let's birth this into the world.
Yes.
So it's an embodiment of both of them, which makes us whole.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
Okay, so Jen, you have this amazing gift that you are generously offering.
Yes.
Would you like to tell our listeners a little bit more about your meditation?
Yeah, so it's all of my meditations are what I call divinely guided. So they were either given to me in my own meditation, or I was like, okay, universe, I need something to give. What do you, how can I serve? And so it will just come to me. And so this particular meditation is really, the world needs us open. The world needs us to live from an open heart. And because there's so many times we close down, we shut off, we block things out because we've been hurt, because we're afraid, because we're operating from pain or fear. And so this is just, it's a really beautiful way to just sink into opening your heart and giving gratitude and just honoring the blessings that you have in your life. And so it just feels really good. I know for me, I cry a lot during my meditations because I'm just so moved. This is one of those types, at least for me, when I do this type of exercise, I'm so moved because it feels so good. It's returning you back to your natural essence. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's what that is, the Grateful Heart meditation.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So we've got a link for you if you'd like to receive Jen's Grateful Heart meditation. You can go to bit.ly, so it's bit.ly/wealthy business goddess.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So thank you for that one. So, and if people want to find out more about working with you, Jen, where's the best place for them to do that?
Yeah, so my home on the interwebs is just my first and last name, jenmavros.com.
Okay, so jenmavros.com. Go and check out Jen's work, and thank you so much for your time, for all the nuggets that you've shared.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Generous gift. So until we speak again, much love, many blessings. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Wealthy Business Goddess Show. If you've enjoyed the show, subscribe and review our podcast. Sign up to receive your Wealthy Business Goddess resources and join us in the Wealthy Business Goddess community at www.lovekimberly.com/WBG. To find out more about how Kimberly can support you in creating the life and business of your dreams, or to watch the show via video, visit the website at www.kimberlylovell.com.